What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and not only are we basking in the glory of a Tottenham 4-0 win against Aston Villa at Villa Park yesterday, we're basking in the glory of a Brighton 2-1 win today. So, yeah, let's hope that brightened up your day yesterday. No pun intended. No, I'm joking. Very much a pun intended on that one. And also, I'm back in the studio after being away for a few days. So happy days all round. We're going to be structuring this a little bit differently today. We don't have the press conference to play, and we will not be getting guests on today just because we've got so much to get through. But we'll be going through a match review and the Twitter reacts as well. And then a bit later on, you'll be getting your player ratings and 5 takeaways as well. But the sun is shining in London today, and
the weather is sweet.
The weather is sweet. Tottenham 3 points clear in the top 4 as well. And just a lot to be happy about at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, and just the way we're playing, how the score lines we're getting, how things are falling into place, seems to be going our way at the moment. Obviously, you don't want to get you don't too confident. You don't want to get too comfortable, as Conte always said. As Dyer said, you want to create an uncomfortable environment, and that's what you thrive off. And I think that's important, that the Spurs players don't feel like the job is done by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get too complacent. But if things carry on this trajectory, it's not even going to get to the North London derby. The way things are going. Yeah. With Arsenal, the whole point of their run-in was these are the games they were expected to win, and then they've got very tough fixtures after this: West Ham, Man United and Chelsea. But if they can't even get over the line against the likes of Brighton at home, then they're going to find it a tall order to get wins against Chelsea, Man United and West Ham. Not even counting winning the North London derby as well. So look, we'll talk about that plenty later. But talking about Spurs, brilliant result. I think we probably feel a bit fortunate to have come away with a 4-0 victory. You got to say that, especially after the first half. But I'm glad the way we reacted in the second half to how we were backs against the wall, battening down the hatches. It was an onslaught from Villa in that first half, and we just about came away with it unscathed. I don't know how we did, but we did. But second half, we didn't allow the same thing to happen, and that you got to be happy with. Definitely.
Well, let's get into the match review. Obviously, 4-0 win yesterday at Villa Park. And you got to say, as much as, the last couple of games we've been playing really well, and we did play well in the second half yesterday, but is there a lot to be said about getting a 4-0 win away at Villa Park, where Aston Villa has probably been the best we've seen them play this season, and not to be at your best?
Of course, and that's what good teams do. I was saying to Sai on the way home, it reminded me very similarly to when we played Chelsea early in the season. First half, I know maybe we didn't kind of onslaught Chelsea as much as Villa did, but first half we were very much in the game. Which
game are you talking about?
Earlier in the season under Nuno.
The first time we played them.
Yeah, we lost 3-0. We were on top of them first half. We were pressing really well. We were looking creative, we were looking like we can hurt Chelsea. We obviously didn't force Ed Mendy into as many saves as they forced Lloris into, but we were creating situations, and it was looking like we were well in the game, and it was at the very least very even, if not Tottenham were the better team. And then second half, everything changed, and they get on early goal, and we lost all our belief, and we ended up losing 3-0. And no one remembers that we played well in the first half, because everyone remembers, look, there was a 3-0 scoreline. And obviously 4-0 flattered us yesterday over the course of 90 minutes. I'm not going to sit here and say that we were 4 goals better than Villa over 90 minutes. We weren't. But what good teams do is when you're in tough moments like we were in the first half, first of all, we have a top quality keeper who I keep saying is top quality in Hugo Lloris. He bailed us out time and time again in that first half. 7 saves in the first half, and a few of them were absolutely world class. A few of them were absolutely world class as well. They weren't just, a lot of them were just standard saves. So a few of them was incredible. I thought. I don't know how he kept that out. I don't know how he kept that one out. I thought the one from Jacob Ramsey, one-handed, tipped over the bar, unbelievable reaction save. And obviously we did have a lead to protect as well, because it was a world-class finish from Son after 3 minutes, and which obviously put us on the right track. And we're thinking, all right, this might be maybe not as hard, difficult game as we thought, and then obviously they turned out very different in that first half. But I think Villa posed us some questions in that first half with their tactical setup, which maybe we hadn't been asked before, in terms of two good strikers in Watkins and Ings causing us problems, and then you had the three of Coutinho, Ramsey, and McGinn. With Louise backed up in behind, all in central areas, and we struggled to cope with that. I think Bentancur and Højbjerg were massively struggling to cope with who to mark, and then backed up by that, you got the two strikers up front, up against our three centre backs, now finding all sorts of spaces in behind. When Coutinho and Ramsey were picking up the ball, in central areas, we were struggling big time to contain them and to limit their spaces, and they were getting all sorts of joy in the central areas, and especially as well playing out from the back, something which I've said I don't think is an issue. You like in terms of it can look bad like it has done a lot this season, but I think it's a necessary evil to draw the opposition out. But yesterday, Villa was super aggressive, and we couldn't play out from the back. They were closing down every single passing lane to a really good degree. And that was something we really badly struggled with in the first half, and we were very, very lucky to go in at half-time 1-0 up.
Yeah, we were. And, when you're coming into the game yesterday, you're seeing the Man United result, you're seeing the Arsenal result, everything seems to be going our way. And you're thinking, all right, what Spurs how are we going to come out the blocks here? How are we going to come out with the first time with real pressure under us? And it looked like we came out like a house on fire. Started off with that brilliant goal from Son. Obviously, the ball goes all the way over the top from Eric Dyer. Headed down to Harry Kane. He takes a snapshot. That gets blocked. And then
going well wide.
Yeah, then that gets blocked, and then it falls to Heung-min Son. Absolutely dynamite finish from
snapshot.
Son.
Left foot.
Absolutely brilliant. But then after that goal, you're thinking, all right, we're in a game here, early goal. We're going to invite Villa onto us and hit them. But it just didn't work out like that whatsoever. They suffocated us. They penned us in. They were super aggressive with us, and we just couldn't get out. Yeah,
that's another thing I think is definitely worth mentioning, is how not just aggressive they were from a pressing point, I thought from the strength of their challenges as well. Some of them were pretty disgusting, actually. I felt they were trying to bully us out of that game. I felt a lot of the time, and I'm happy there were cases where Højbjerg and Kane actually stood up for themselves. I know Højbjerg got a booking, but I think it was necessary to give something back because the referee wasn't protecting our players. Mings, I thought, was very lucky not to have seen at least a yellow. Could have easily been a red if the injury was worse to Kulusevski. I thought that challenge on Kulusevski was disgusting. That was really hard challenging, and his foot was planted. And if an inch,
about the one from Mings, with the studs up in the ankle.
and an inch to the left or right, and we could be talking about an ACL for Kulusevski.
How he didn't get booked there,
at least. I thought it was horrible.
When I saw it, I was like, VAR is definitely going to go back to this and have a look, and maybe even a red card, and nothing.
I thought it was horrible. Doherty,
live at the stadium, could you see?
Yeah, I thought that was at least a yellow. I thought it was a disgusting challenge when I first saw it, and then I was surprised he didn't get booked at all. He just got a word. A talking to, and I think, to be fair, we'll talk about it a bit later, but I think Kulusevski got his own back sitting him down for that fourth goal. But yeah, that could have been really bad. If you've seen it again as well on the replay, his leg was in a bad position, and it could have really been a bad injury for Kulusevski. Obviously, Doxy was forced off injured. I haven't seen the challenge again, whatever it was, from Matt Cash, but he forced him off.
I think Doherty, he kept trying to come back on as well. 3 times he had to go. He went down. And Conte was saying in the post-match press conference that he doesn't think it's too bad, or he doesn't hope it's too bad.
He said he does. He hope it's not serious, but we don't know yet.
Apparently, he was wearing support on his leg or something. So
not good.
Let's hope it's not too bad. And who would have thought a few months ago we'd be sitting here thinking a Doherty injury is going to be
detrimental? Yeah. Yeah, it is. 100% it is. And I thought he actually started the game pretty well as well. Obviously, before going off injured. Ings was putting in some challenges as well, some really rough challenges. So I thought they were clearly told. There was a clear instruction to go in hard on us, I think. Which,
he was...
No data.
Are we on the dongle? Are we on Ethernet, or are we on Wi-Fi? Yeah, but it should have an Ethernet.
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying is about Emerson, I just thought like time and time again, he was just giving them the ball away, giving the ball away. I know it was the whole team as well, but I just felt like he was the culprit more than anyone else. And like, it just showed how in the second half, we were like dinking it over their press, where in the first half, we were just trying to kind of pass it through their press and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and I think that was the key in the second half. Not only, first of all, I think a big part of it was that a lot of Villa put a lot of energy into that first half, and they put a lot of energy in, and it was very difficult for them to keep up that sort of energy in the second half with that kind of pressing and everything. I think it was very, very difficult for them to keep up with that intensity, because it was a bit like, when under Pochettino, when we used to be very intense, and then early in his tenure, we used to kind of die down a bit later in games because we couldn't keep up for 90 minutes. I think that's kind of what I saw yesterday from Gerrard's team. And also, yeah, I agree. We instead of continually playing out from the back and playing ourselves into trouble, which we did and kept giving it away, we just went direct. And I kept calling for it in the first half, like, if it's not working, go direct. And maybe it needed Conte to tell them that, because maybe they hadn't decided for themselves to do it. But going on, they've still got the ring.
All right,
I think we're back.
Yeah. So what we were saying is, I think that, coming the latter stages of that first half, I was like, we need half-time, we need half-time, we need half-time, we need half-time. Half-time came. Luckily, we never conceded like we probably should have more than once in that first half because of Hugo Lloris madness. But then second half, like you say, we went more direct. We started thinking it over the top. Romero was influential in that. Obviously, the ball comes out to Harry Kane. He plays it through to Kulusevski. Kulusevski, absolute dynamite, wasn't it? Absolute dynamite.
Yeah.
Takes the ball, shifts and shoots, finds the bottom corner. And then from then on, I felt like there was only one team in this game. And I felt like the game was pretty much done after that second goal.
I think once we got the second goal, also we started the second half a bit like we started the first half as well, like very quickly getting that goal. And once we got the second goal, I think it sapped the belief out of Aston Villa. They seemed to think, I think with all the energy they'd put into the game and to be 2-0 down, I think the belief had dissipated from that team, and they stopped pressing us to the extent they were. They weren't as aggressive as well. They weren't committing the fouls and stuff, apart from obviously Ashley Young very late on. They weren't doing the fouls and stuff on us like they were doing in the first half. And all of a sudden, it became a bit of an easy ride for us in that second half. But yeah, I think the change in tactic of going more direct in that second half must have been something Conte got into them at half time, because it was very deliberate. And Kane, recently, he's getting a lot of assists from his flick-ons, isn't he? He got one at West Ham for the 3-1, and he got two yesterday, two brilliant assists for the flick-on.
That flick-on for our third goal, when Sonny went through on goal, was absolutely world class. I thought it was so good, man. The way Romero hits it over the top, and Harry Kane just has one look behind him, and bang, Sonny is through on goal. Absolutely world class.
Yeah, I saw that when I was watching it live as well. I saw him take a live view on the vlog. I mentioned it. I was like, he takes one look behind him, then he does a brilliant flick, and right into his path as well. He knew exactly where to play. It was like a well-weighted pass with his head. It was exceptional. To do that with one little flick is so hard to do, to kind of take enough pace off the ball that it doesn't go too far ahead, but keep enough pace on it that it goes right into Son's path. The weight of a flick on was beautiful to see, and I can't believe Kane was able to pull that off with such precision, which he did. And then obviously there's Heung-min Son running through on goal, clinical as ever. And I said it earlier. Son is the best player in the league when running through on goal. I don't think there's a better player than him using that space like that when he's beyond the last defender. He's so clinical, and he's hard to stop, man. He's so hard to stop, and he does a very deliberate thing where he just takes a touch across the defender, so he knows any touch from defender, bring him down, it's probably a red card and stopping a goal score, but you say can't touch him. So he gets in that awkward position, and then look, left foot, right foot, he doesn't care, does he? He can finish on either one, and the third one was clinical, really clinical finish. And then we had more Conte ball for the fourth one.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning, that fourth goal. You know, how many players were involved in that goal for that?
Seemed just Son and Kulusevski, to be honest.
Yeah,
but,
it did seem like that.
Yeah,
but
then,
everyone was in goal. But that Kulusevski work at the byline,
yeah, brilliant,
was absolutely sensational. At the last moment, he shifts onto his left foot, passes it to Heung-min Son. And Sonny was at his clinical best yesterday. I mean, haven't seen Sonny as clinical as that for a while. Like 3 goals, hat-trick.
Well, hat-trick. He has scored a hat-trick since Southampton last year.
But like the finishes, man, the finishes were off the inside of the post. Bang! You can't save those.
All 3 were completely clinical. So clinical. 2 with his left foot, 1 with his right as well. The keeper had absolutely no chance on either one. His finishing was masterful. We know he has that in him because we've seen it time and time again.
Of course.
What
When are we going to
be.
talk about Sonny for in the running for Player of the Year or Team of the Year or something like that? Because he's 20 goals is Mo Salah. He's only at 17 now. When are we going to talk about him in being contender for goal of the Golden Boot?
I think the conversation starts here. He's very much a contender for Golden Boot. And as much as how we talk about Harry Kane, I think Kane maybe in the last 3 games has sacrificed himself at the altar of Son because...
You still think he's going to get 20 goals, Harry Kane?
I think he's still got a good chance. But yeah, it's looking unlikely at this point. He needs 8 goals in 7 games to get that 20. So I think at this point... I don't think he even cares. I think
with the role he's playing, it will be hard. Yeah.
I think Conte's drilled it into him that he's got to make sacrifices for the team if we're gonna make sure that we get top 4, and that's what he's doing. As much as he's not getting the goals, he has got. I think in his last 3 games, he might not have any goals, but I think he has 7 assists or 6 assists in his last 3 games. Yeah. Exceptional form. I mean, that even though he's not scoring, he's still making a big impact. And I think he's also, in terms of best playmaker, I think he's getting close to Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I think is top at the moment for most assists in the league.
Yeah, I think there's still quite a gap between them. I do think there's quite a gap between them, but it's like I can't believe when I looked at the goal scoring charts how close Salah and Son are now.
If you take away penalties, Son is top goal scorer.
I know, which is crazy. So you got Trent Alexander-Arnold on 11 and you got Harry Kane on 8. So I guess they're not too far away.
He's not too far. 3 assists.
Yeah.
And the way Kane's playing, he could overtake that next game.
Yeah.
The way he's playing. We've got Brian at home. Obviously, we'll talk about Arsenal in a sec, but I was just happy that we reacted well to that in that first half. We were clinical in the second. I do think, though, obviously, I'm not saying I'm not happy with how we're playing, because I am. I do think that we are literally scoring with every shot on target at the moment, which is it's like a ridiculous.
We had 5 shots on target yesterday.
Well, there you go. But like, we're not like, this isn't like Man City where we have 20 shots and scoring 5. We are being very clinical. However, what you do have to say is the quality of chances we're creating. These aren't like pot shots from nowhere. Where you say, oh, he's lucky, just like for example, like Son's goal in the North London derby last year.
Yeah,
these aren't like goals like that. These are goals where we've got ourselves in very highly likely goal scoring positions, and and like it's not a surprise we scored them, but to score with majority of your shots on target over the past 2 games, you have to say that's unsustainable. We're going to have to start making more chances, but. As long as we're being clinical, I mean, you got to say, can't argue with it, and it's unbelievable.
I think that we are creating openings and chances. We're just not getting the shots off on target through them. So I think that we are playing really well as an attacking unit. You can't track Kulu, Son, Kane, the wing backs as well, really pushing up high and adding to it. So I think yesterday was that, because in the first half we played a bad game. We weren't good in the first half, but second half we came alive. A bit similar to Newcastle. Newcastle didn't put us anywhere near as much pressure as Aston Villa did, but it was a bit similar. You know how we weren't that good in the first half, and then second half we came alive.
And maybe it's just a case of Conte taking a bit of time to figure out the opposition, and then once he's come up with a plan, we execute it in that second half once he's figured it out. But
what I'm saying is to have 5 or 6 shots on target in a second half.
Yeah, it's good.
Is a lot of chances, right? Is a lot of chances.
Yeah, it is. It is, but to score every single one of them takes like elite, that's really clinical.
What I'm saying is we don't need to score all of them to win the games.
No,
we're scoring all of them to batter teams.
Yeah, exactly. Which I kept saying is there's a big difference at the moment is that we're scoring so many goals, and that can stand us in good stead when you get into that stage. Because even if you're playing not as good as you were before, that could mean you only win 1 or 2-0 as opposed to 4 or 5, which we are at the moment. And yeah, I guess let's talk about how this result has affected in the context of the top 4 race. As you say, United lost 1-0 to Everton in what was a dreadful, lethargic display. They look like they're on the beach already. Man United.
1-0 Brentford.
And Brentford are 1-0 up as well. There you go.
And Buemo.
That's very good news. Very good news.
I think Kurt Zuma went off injured as well.
Even better news.
Leicester 2-0.
There you go. In Buemo. Lovely finish into the near post. I'm just watching it now. Good stuff.
You got it up there.
Yeah, why not? So look, with West Ham losing as well. But I think, to be honest, as much as it was a good result, Man United losing, and it's good that West Ham winning, I don't really believe they actually had the capability of overtaking us right now. The way they're
when
playing,
you're only 3 points in it.
Yeah, you got exactly. They have to. No, you have to be happy about them dropping points. But with the way these guys are playing, I never really fully believed they were going to go on a run and challenge us. The way we're playing at the moment. I think
we said it consistently throughout the season. Anyway.
Yeah, I think Man United now, last 2 games, considering the games Man United have as well coming up, they've got very tough. Like if you think Arsenal's games are tough, look at Man United's even tougher. And to draw at home to Leicester and lose away at Everton when you're fighting for 4th place, we're now 6 points above them, and they still got to go to. I know we got to go to Anfield, but they got to go to Anfield. They got to play West Ham. They got to play Arsenal. They've got some very difficult games, and Chelsea, I still believe as well, and Chelsea as well. No,
they don't have Chelsea.
You sure?
Yeah, I've got their fixtures here. So they got Norwich at home next, which you got to say 3 points probably. Then Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Brentford at home. That's 3 very difficult games there. And then they go away to Brighton and away to Palace, last 2 games of the season.
I swear they had Chelsea again. All right. So yeah, look, and those are going to be very, very difficult games for them. So then they're going to drop a lot of points. And they have to catch up 6 points on us plus goal difference. I'm sure we're well ahead of them goal differences now. Goal difference now.
We are, yeah.
So then it comes down to Arsenal, and obviously they had a massive blip against Palace. With injuries and everything, and the result and performance. Everyone's, I was watching a bit of Arsenal content in the midweek, and everyone was still, as much as they were worried, they were still thinking, look, if we can get Tavares and Lokonga and all these players in the lineup, and we go again and just make it into a blip and not panic after one loss. Brighton at home are, let's be honest, the perfect opposition in these scenarios. You wouldn't if you were to pick one team to play just after a bad defeat, it's probably Brighton at home.
Yeah, either
right
Brighton
now.
Or Norwich, one of the two.
I'm saying on the form they are right now. They're not scoring any goals. They've lost 6 and drawn 1 of their last 7 games. They're on torrid form. They can't score a goal at all. They're struggling.
What did I say to you in the preview? It's got vibes of that Everton game. I said to you, I've been saying it all week, have I not?
You have.
And
you're right.
All week, and it was exactly played out to a T.
And watching that game, Arsenal crumbled for the second time in a week. They obviously went 1-0 down early on. They looked really bad and really. I think actually Arteta as well. Yeah, I think he maybe suffered a bit of pepitis the way he overcomplicated things, because I think he had a couple of injuries, but he completely ripped it all up and changed everything. It's like, why not just put left back at left back, just keep Xhaka in centre mid, and then all of a sudden you got a bit of stability. But he changed it all. He put Xhaka at left back, and he put Smith Rowe and Odegaard in centre mid, and he put Lokonga in. It's like, what are you doing?
I was listening to Lee Judges last night on the Tavares situation, and he was saying, which I thought was bloody hilarious, and I think he was spot on as well. It's like, if you're not going to play Tavares against Brighton at home when you don't have a left back, which for argument's sake, he's their only backup left back, then when are you going to play him? Are you going to play him at West Ham? Are you going to play him at Chelsea? Are you going to play him at Man United? If you're not going to play him at Brighton at home, when are you going to play him?
But I think, when did that first goal came from someone getting in behind on the left, didn't it? And they cut it back to Trossard. So I think Arteta actually, I don't know whether he panicked or what it was, but I think he was guilty of overthinking the situation.
That's what he did.
And they were. I know they had a little late rally near the end where they obviously scored, and didn't they hit the bar from a free kick? And they nearly
hit the bar a few times. I think
hit the bar from a free kick, and then the follow up they hit the bar again.
Hit the bar as well.
I'm saying that was the same move. So they had that moment, but other than that, they looked like they ran out of ideas, and losing to a Brighton team in this kind of form was not in the script. And now, with them losing these kind of games, with the way they're playing, the injuries they've got, and the fixtures they've got coming up, it's gone from within 2 games. It's gone from Arsenal in pole position and Arsenal, have it in their own hands, to now it almost needs a miracle all of a sudden.
Yeah, and that miracle can be in the form of a Tottenham injury. That's what it can come, because we saw yesterday on the pitch how aggressive Aston Villa were. I had my heart in my mouth every time a heavy challenge was going in on Harry Kane or Kulusevski. Because imagine if Harry Kane gets a big injury now and he's out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's bad, but it is bad. But when I say they need a miracle, they need to win against West Ham or United or Chelsea and probably the North London derby. I'm not saying they need to win all 4, but they probably need to win probably 3 of those 4 at this stage, or 4 or 2 of those 4, and that's going to be a very tall order
when we go to Anfield, basically.
Yeah, and that's at the moment. Are they? Will they? I don't know.
Well,
and look, and it's going to be difficult if say we do get Kane injured, but are we able to beat a team like? Or win some home games with Kane injured, like Leicester at home or something, without Harry Kane? I would back us to. As much as I think how Kane is important, I still think we can win games without him. Right now,
I just don't think we can create the chances at will that we're at creating.
No, but I still think we can win games. I know it'll be more difficult, but I don't think we can go to Anfield to win. And I think the North London derby might be difficult to win. But I still think the other games without Kane, I would still put us at a good chance of winning those games even without Kane.
Mate, Arsenal losing to Brighton at home, we can't beat them at home without Harry Kane?
Of course we can.
I think we can.
And everyone talks about Spurs being a one-man team. Well, not everyone, Merson for most, but
whoever listens to Merson anyway.
But like, their left back gets injured and they crumble. Their left back.
Well, and centre mid.
I'm sorry, we've Skip's been out for 3 months, and how long have we haven't had a left back? For big parts of the season. Reguilon and Session have both been injured for big parts. We had Doherty at left back on Sunday, and we won 5-1. So what's the excuse?
The fact of the matter is, Arsenal, they like to run these excuses like, injuries this, injuries that, all these excuses that they talk about. We've had detrimental injuries all throughout this whole season. Only very recently in this season, we've had our first choice defence consistently.
Yeah.
First time, pretty much. Romero's been out for a long stretch of time. Dyer's been out for a long stretch of time. That period when we were losing to Chelsea 3 times in a month, we had Tanganga, Sanchez and Davis as our back 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they had that kind of level of back 2 or back 4, whatever it is, for that stretch of time, they would be nowhere near the top 4 right now.
Completely agree. And I think they were... No, not fortunate. They deserved to be challenging for the results they were getting, but I think it was built on unstable foundations.
It was built on the demise of Manchester United and the demise of Tottenham Hotspur. That's what it was built on.
Correct. And I think they were consistently getting results, to be fair to them. But we said it all throughout when January happened. If they get a few injuries, they will be in trouble. And that's so it's happened. You've got a couple of injuries, but like... If you're I know Partey's a big player for them, and Tierney's a good player, but if you're relying on a centre mid and left back staying fit the whole season to win games, then you're in trouble.
Yeah,
you're in big trouble, and I think that's what's being exposed now for Arsenal. And for those 2 losses, obviously it's not over yet because it's only 3 points. They still got a game in hand. I know all the other factors surrounding that, but. This could be a pivotal week in the top 4 race, and I think it seems it could be very much so. I think the way things are going.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. I think that's the match preview. I think for today, 4-0. Obviously, a brilliant win against Aston Villa at Villa Park yesterday. Let's get into a few super chats, and then we'll go and see how Twitter reacted. First of all, big up to Graham. I see him in the comments there. Hopefully you had a good time at Villa Park
Big up,
yesterday.
Graham.
Did you see him yesterday?
I didn't, unfortunately. I wish I ran into him, but I didn't get the opportunity.
We got some super chat here from Dark Sunji21 saying, don't you love how we are beating teams by at least 2 goals recently? I can't believe that we are on plus 19 in goal difference now. We used to be -5 at one point. Our front three have really good partnerships with each other. And yeah, it's unbelievable because only recently we're about, -8 from Arsenal alone.
Yeah, and somehow...
Like a month ago or something like that.
Yeah, we're somehow... I don't know how we've done it, but we're now plus 10 on them. Which is ridiculous, considering how far behind we were. And I remember talking to other Spurs fans saying, "Oh, it's basically we're 6 points behind Arsenal, but it's basically 7 with goal difference."
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, we're 3 points, but it's basically 4 to us now with goal difference because we're 10 ahead. I can't see them catching up the amount of goals they score.
Yeah, we've definitely got a point more than them now. Then Rajesh Sharma saying, "Son for Golden Boot. Kane, please allow him to take penalties." Well, we're not getting that many penalties at the moment, are we? But I think Son can do it without the penalties.
I think Kane's only scored 2 this season, penalties, and Dele Alli obviously scored them right at the beginning. I don't think we've only had 2, I think, since then.
And Salah.
Son, mate, yeah, he's got a great shout.
Not really scoring many at the moment.
1 goal in 8, I think, or
something like that. 1 goal in 6, I think it is. Obviously, he's Mo Salah and he can turn up at any time. But how likely it is, do you think, that Son can catch up with him?
Look, he's still the outsider, but the way he's scoring goals and the way Salah's goals are drying up, the mentors with Son, and he's the one as well who's our biggest threat in behind. And when he's not running in behind, we don't look anywhere near as dangerous. So I think he's really adapted, by the way, Son, to that new role that Conte's made for him, which we were talking about. That I think that he was struggling a bit early doors to find the right movements and the right spaces that he used to find when he was either out wide left or just a central striker. But now, given the adaptation period now, he's scoring goals for fun, and he's really got to grips with how Conte wants those inside 10s to play. And I think him and Kulusevski is perfect for both of them.
Agreed. And it's like you were saying a few weeks ago when Son wasn't on, the best form, but still scoring goals, still providing assists and stuff like that. And you were saying Son's not fully integrated into this role now.
Yeah.
But I think he is now, isn't he?
I think he is. I think he's playing it to perfection. He's finding that space in behind he wasn't really doing early in Conte's tenure. And he's doing great.
All right, another super chat from Dark Sunji21 saying Kulu and Son link-up play for the 3rd goal for Son showed our level difference between Villa. He played with Mings like it was nothing. Son beat the record of Hazard and Torres in the Premier League. What does that mean?
Son... Maybe goals from foreigners, maybe? No, it can't be because Aguero must be there.
Well, Dark Sanji, if you can let us know what record that is in the comment section, we'll talk about it. But I'm not too sure what record you're talking about.
Don't know.
It can't be goals from foreigners.
No, maybe I don't know. No, it can't be. I don't know what the record is.
Anyway, maybe it's hat tricks or something. I don't know. Anyway.
No, because he only got 2 for Spurs, I think, in the Premier League.
Let's go to the next one. Dark Sunji 21 again saying Son beat Teddy Sheringham record for goals at Spurs. Currently, Son is tied with Bergkamp in goals in the Premier League. Incredible.
I think it's just Premier League.
Bottle FC.
It must be just Premier League goals.
Premier League goals for Hazard and Torres. That's
that's probably what he's talking about. So Son's got more than them 2.
So he's tied with Dennis Bergkamp, and he's got more than Torres and Hazard now. Heung-min Son.
Yeah.
And the last super chat there again from Dark Sunji21 saying, if Gooners lose all 4 games coming up while we win our next 3 games and get at least a draw at Anfield, and top 4 is to be decided before the North London derby. So that means if we win our next 3 games before Anfield and Arsenal lose 4 games, that means, and let's say we go to Anfield and lose, that's the decider then against Arsenal.
If we what, sorry?
If Arsenal carry on losing
and
we carry on winning before the Anfield game, and let's say we go to Anfield and lose, then the decider's at North London derby.
No, it wouldn't be a decider. It would just be Tottenham to confirm.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Even if
it will decide it that day if we beat them.
But if Arsenal win that game, we'll probably still be 6 points ahead of them or something.
Yeah. As in, what I'm saying is, if they lose every game before Anfield and we win every game,
Yeah, it
before
could be over on front of that game. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
I understand. Yeah, 100%.
All right, so that's the super chats. I want to know, well, if you want us to react to anything on Twitter, do tag us on Twitter now. But let's go and see how Twitter reacted to the win yesterday.
Just reacting to all sorts of things, but mostly the Tottenham win. Let's bring it up. First one, let's react to, which I think I'll be good to react to. You know, there's Twitter account has the referee or VAR made a poor decision today, and they were responding to the offside from Martinelli, and they said no, Cucurella kept Martinelli offside, but I don't understand how it took them 4 minutes to figure that out. And clear and obvious doesn't matter when it comes when it comes down to offsides. Obviously, Arsenal felt very hard done by with the offside. But what did you think of it? Did you think it was one of those where if they gave the goal initially and then VAR ruled it out? There didn't seem a very definitive camera angle. It's a goal for West Ham. It's a goal for Brentford.
Come on, 2-0 to Brentford.
2-0 to Brentford.
West Ham get battered.
Exactly. But do you think when in cases like yesterday where VAR, there didn't seem to be a definitive angle, but from the evidence that VAR showed, it did seem offside. So what do you think?
What was the evidence? Because, I mean, you had Dunk and you had Martinelli and the goalkeeper blocking Cucurella at all times from any angle. You just couldn't see it.
Correct. They showed a picture. If you there's a picture here. If you scroll down on that tweet, on the replies, this one, yeah, it shows there's a picture showing, not that one. From he replied to his own tweet, that guy.
This one?
No, whatever. I'm showing it on screen. But as you see, he replied to his own tweet. They used that camera angle to see where Cucurella was.
Yeah.
And you can see maybe with his feet there, his feet still quite a distance from the goal line, whereas Martinelli, his feet are a lot closer to the goal line. So I think they use that as a judgment to say that from the best evidence we have, he is offside.
Yeah, I think if the evidence is inconclusive like that, I think that you should be probably giving the goal, to be honest, and giving the benefit of the doubt. Personally.
So you think Arsenal are done by?
A little bit, yeah.
Who cares?
I don't care. What do you think?
I think it was offside. I think.
How can you tell though?
I think from the evidence they showed, I think that there's enough evidence to suggest that Cucurella wasn't as close to the goal line as Martinelli was.
It's impossible to tell. It's literally impossible.
It's difficult, but that's the best. That's the best we have.
They need to have angles from both sides. I don't understand why they don't.
They need to have angles from both sides. Yeah,
like a camera on that end and a camera on this
I don't know why they
end.
don't
So
either.
stupid that
Yeah,
they
it
don't.
doesn't make sense. They've got billions and billions of pounds.
Yeah.
And they don't. Next up, Nathan Clark says, quite simply, since Conte came in, Spurs have comfortably been the third best team in the league, and he's basing that on our expected points is comfortably third highest since Conte's come in.
And comfortably, 5 points, yeah.
That's pretty comfortable.
Yeah. I'd like to be more than 5 points better off than Arsenal, though.
Of course, but and also above Chelsea as well by about five expected points. But that's positive.
But also, they have one game less played, but it is against each other.
Exactly. So they both can't win. XG, look at that. We're about 10 goals better than Arsenal.
That's mad.
And Chelsea, which is very impressive. Expected goals against, though, we're slightly higher than Arsenal and Chelsea.
Mm-hmm. But you would take that with a 10-goal higher XG.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Troy Parrott.
Oh, what a goal that was!
What a volley this was!
The man is on fire at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. This is it's not the best view of the volley, but if you slow it,
the limbs though.
You can slow it down. He's got the back post there. It's lining up. Oh, what a strike that is! Right into the roof of the net. Brilliant finish. He's on fire, isn't he? Obviously
really
scored for
is.
Ireland,
Yeah.
scored that lob not far along, and now he's got this goal.
Yeah, that's 3 goals in his last 3 games.
So brilliant stuff for Troy Parrott. Good on him. Tottenham Hotspur saying, what a half from Hugo Lloris. Incredible.
The thing
Great
is with
praise,
Hugo
praise
as
him.
well, it wasn't just the saves, but the way he was coming for the crosses and stuff like that as well. I mean, seemed to have glue on his gloves a bit.
Yeah,
yesterday.
he was claiming a lot, wasn't he? Claiming a lot of crosses. Premier League panel says Spurs struggling to pick up Coutinho Ramsey's movement in between the lines with Bentancur or Højbjerg pivot. This is where Skip is very good. He's the best Spurs midfielder defensively in that sense. In his absence, a 3-5-2 switch and using midfield 3 may be Conte's move. Obviously, it wasn't in the end. He just decided to go direct. But do you think we missed Skip yesterday in that first half?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think Coutinho was running us a bit ragged yesterday in that first half. I think that once we started thinking over the top, it worked in our favour. But yesterday could have been a potential of a 3-5-2 if we had the options.
All right, next one. Dan Kilpatrick says Matt Doherty gingerly walking out of Villa Park with a brace on his right knee. So that's not very good news, is it?
Touch wood, he'll be all right.
Yeah, let's hope that Matt Doherty will be okay for the remainder of the season. Obviously, it's not very good news that he had to go off early due to injury. But let's just hope he's all right. Not good news he was in a brace, though. I think this is since Kulusevski has started games for Tottenham. He's got 3 goals and 6 assists. Kane has 8 goals and 7 assists, and Son has 9 goals and 4 assists. Unbelievable stats.
That is what you call a front three.
Yeah, incredible.
And they were talking on Sky Sports yesterday. Obviously, you were at the game, so you wouldn't have heard it. They were saying, "Is this now the best front three in the Premier League?"
I think form-wise, 100% it is. Is it quality-wise? You have to say that Kane and Son probably get into any team. So it's whether how good do we rate Kulusevski? That's the question, I guess.
I think the way he's come into the Premier League at this age, he's only going to get better as well.
Yeah.
He's literally only going to get better. And that's the scary thing about it, because already he's done more probably, hat-trick in Amsterdam aside, he's done probably more in Lucas's whole career than what Kulu's done since January.
Yeah, probably. Bardi says Romero is the best defender I've seen in my lifetime at Spurs.
Where was he when Ledley King was around?
He's saying he's better than Ledley King. Well, Romero, man, he's just. I don't think it was the most impressive game yesterday. Not that he did anything bad, but again, I thought he had another strong showing.
I think that in the second half he showed how good he can be playing it out from the back. Those little dinks into the midfield into Harry Kane pretty much won us the game yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. I think defensively well in the second half he was great. No Context Tottenham tweeted out Paul Merson has warned new Tottenham manager Antonio Conte has no chance of taking Spurs back into the Champions League. I guess this was back when he was appointed. More Merson, as usual, getting things wrong. No surprise.
We should create a no contact Merson account.
Honestly, everything he says is wrong all the time.
Literally everything
he says is always wrong. Duncan Alexander says Spurs have now scored more Premier League goals this season under Conte, who was appointed in November, than Arsenal have under Arteta.
Oh, yeah. I saw this one last night. I thought that's actually mind-blowing.
Yeah, we scored more goals since November than Arsenal have the whole season.
Mad.
Trust the process.
Exactly. Keep trusting it, Gooners.
Jonathan Ville says, I asked Gerrard if Tottenham's front three is the best in the league at the minute. He said certainly high-level players. 2 of them are world-class, and Kulusevski potentially top-level player. Exactly what you were saying yesterday. Just before. Højbjerg on Instagram showing 2 ice packs on both knees. He was definitely in the wars yesterday, wasn't he, Højbjerg? Yeah. He spent a bit of time down on the ground and got the scars to show it.
Højbjerg needs massive props. Massive props, because ever since Bentancur's come in alongside him, I think he stepped it up a notch this season, because he wasn't having the best season, let's be honest, before Bentancur came in. And I think since he's come in, he's actually this is his best run of his Spurs career.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's been fantastic. Sergio Reguilon, proud of the team. This is the way. 7 finals ahead of Vamos.
Vamos!
And that's him with celebrating with him and Son. Some great pictures. And I don't know if you've seen there's this compilation of Reguilon copying everyone's celebrations whenever they score. It's brilliant. Yeah, I think I might have liked it. It might come up.
Though. He always
just copies it. He always just copies everyone's celebration. It's absolutely brilliant. There's another that's Spurs tweeting out as well. Fantastic stuff. Son taking home the match ball. Things you love to see. Look at that. Absolutely great stuff. Him hugging Paratici. Good stuff.
I just love Son so much. I just love him so much. I mean, I was just watching his celebrations yesterday, and I was just like watching him with such a smile on my face. He's just such a good player, and he's such like his smile is so infectious as well.
Yeah, I know. You can't help but smile when you see him smiling. Julie, I think Jay Julie, who's a Juve fan, says Kulusevski 8 goals and assists since joining Tottenham in January. Vlahovic 6 goals and assists since joining Juventus in January. Bit of a comparison there, but he's having more of an impact than Vlahovic at the moment. Who would have thought that?
It's mad. He's not just Vlahovic, but also what's his name from Liverpool as well, Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz. Much more of an impact than Diaz so far in terms of goals and assists anyway.
And we signed Kulusevski in replacement of Diaz.
That's right, we did. Yeah, Diaz was first on our list. LG882 says, here's my theory why we're much better in the second half. Conte's tactical genius, but he's still learning how teams play. Tottenham, once he sees it in the first half, he dismantles them in the second. Next season, this guy will have us challenging for the title if Levy backs him.
Wow. I mean, I get what you're saying, because like we are battering teams at the moment. We've shown how we can stand up to the top teams as well in terms of Liverpool and Man City when we do play them. But can we actually challenge the title? Can we actually challenge Man City and Liverpool?
It's going to be very, very difficult to breach that gap over one summer. It's probably going to be insurmountable to breach that gap. But you never know. He's done it before.
He has done it before.
You wouldn't have, you might not have thought that after Inter one season, because Juventus won it every year, hadn't they? But they dropped off massively, didn't they, in that other season? And
can you see Liverpool?
It needs Liverpool and City to drop off.
Is Liverpool or City or both of them going to drop off next season?
Unlikely. Doesn't seem it, but you
With
never
the
know. Maybe
that they have with the players that they have.
Maybe if Salah leaves, I don't know. Who knows? Fabio Paratici signing Kulusevski to play with Son and Kane. Here it is, yeah. There's adding Kulusevski. There's Son and Kane in the pot. Brilliant stuff. He was definitely cooking, Paratici, 100%. And
has he earned his Don status for you yet?
For me, I mean, these signings, if we get top 4, man, which is looking ever more likely as the weeks pass, I think so. Because no one would have expected that. Even in November when Conte was appointed. Jermaine Genus says, and with the Antonio tune, and he says, give that man whatever he wants, please. Genus is fully on the Conte bandwagon.
Who isn't?
That's for sure.
Who isn't?
Only a fool wouldn't be at this stage.
Exactly.
Tottenham's last 4 games, scored 14, conceded twice. Kane with 1 goal and 7 assists, Son with 6 goals and 1 assist, and Kulusevski with 1 goal and 3 assists. What a trio!
Dynamite.
They're getting the right praise at the moment. Well, yeah, that front 3, man. They're getting it's being very hard to stop them. Noz Ahmed says Conte is having Spurs play like this with only 2 signings. Imagine him with his own team. I'm about to pass out. Love it.
I mean. It's just mental to think like we've got Antonio Conte as our manager. We're suddenly starting to blow teams away and play like an Antonio Conte side. And this is with the same players which we all said are nowhere near good enough.
Correct. And I still believe a lot of them are, but I think he's just finding another level at the moment. I think he's finding another level with them. Oliver Young Miles says, since Kulusevski started his first Premier game against City, Spurs' front 3 have scored more goals than any other Premier League team. They're generally starting to look like the best attacking trio in the league since peak Salah, Mane, Firmino.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I really can't. Because they've all got their own attributes and they're all like...
They all complement each other.
They all complement each other and they're all so good at what they do as well. And Harry Kane, I mean, he's just like the glue between it all. I mean, he's just getting better and better as well.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Opta Joe says Son has scored 34 goals with his left foot in the Premier League. The only right-footed player with more left-footed goals in the competition is Harry Kane.
Wow.
There you go. So that's another thing as well. They probably don't get enough credit for two of the most ambidextrous forwards in the league, which is something definitely underrated.
What I find really weird is these Arsenal fans that keep coming out being like, oh, if you didn't have Harry Kane and if you didn't have Heung-min Son, you'd be an average side. If you didn't have this, you didn't have that, you'd be an average side. But the fact of the matter is we do have them.
If they didn't have Saka and they didn't have Partey, they would be bottom half. What do you want?
I don't get this whole narrative what Arsenal fans are talking about.
Let them
like,
say it. Doesn't matter. It makes no
sense.
sense.
Rubbish. Like, they're just so salty at the moment.
Doesn't matter. They're part of our team.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make a difference if we didn't do this. If you didn't have Partey and Saka, you'd be bottom half.
I was gonna say, if you didn't have Tavares, you wouldn't be so shit.
Exactly. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Trevor Lloyd says, despite a hat-trick by Son, Lloris is my man of the match. Crazy, I know, but we would have been 3 or 4 down if it wasn't for Hugo. Hard to disagree.
Yeah. Spot on that.
Piers Morgan. Just saying pathetic.
I put that one in.
You won. I don't remember liking this one, but I didn't see it. Brilliant stuff. Pathetic. I can just imagine Piers Morgan saying it. Brilliant.
I had to put that in there last time. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, I think West Ham. Oh, I thought it was about to be 3-0, wasn't. Non-penalty goals in the Premier League this season. Son on 17, Salah on 15, Jota 14, Mane 12, Kane, Ronaldo, De Bruyne, Vardy on 10. So Son leads the way for non-penalty goals. If Son took penalties, he might even be top right now.
He'll be 20. You said we had 3 penalties this season.
So there you go. Unbelievable stuff there from Sonny. Unfortunately for him, he's not a penalty taker, but I mean that goes to show how good he is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And
how good he is in general, I mean.
And it shows how, like, the way we were speaking about Son, about a few weeks ago and stuff like that, saying he's not on the best of form. He's having his best season as Spurs shirt.
Yeah, I mean, last season he got 17 goals. And so this season he's already on 17. He'll blitz that. He'll get 20 easy.
Do you think a lot of people owe Son a bit of an apology?
Anyone who called for him to be dropped does, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I think if you want to say you don't think he's playing his best football right now, that's fair enough. But I think if you thought he should have been dropped, then there you go.
But the numbers, best season ever in a Spurs shirt.
Anyone who says he's having an average season doesn't know what they're talking about. He's clearly having a brilliant season.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
If he finishes on Golden Boot this year, is there a shout for him for Player of the Year?
Player of the Year? Well, if he finishes more on the, I guess if
he wouldn't even get Tottenham players of the year.
I know. Well, if Salah wins the league, then it's hard to look past him. But he has been off the boil. So
but if we get top
and I know
4,
recency bias is very strong in these Player of the Year awards when the votes come in. Recency bias is very strong. So I guess he would have a shout. He'd have to be nominated at least because he's getting a lot of assists.
Do you think he can get Tottenham's Player of the Year if he finishes Golden Boot?
Yeah, I do, because you got to take the first 19 games into account, don't you, when you're assessing Kane?
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone's been more consistent than Son. Maybe Dyer.
I think right now, if I'm going to rate for Player of the Year, I'll probably give it to Son or Dyer, but I'll probably give it to Son.
Yeah, you have to say so. He's been brilliant. Who scored? Say Kulusevski has more goal involvements than Gabriel Martinelli this season, even though he only made his first start in February. Very impressive as well.
And everyone's waxing lyrical about Martinelli as well.
Mate, I think Kulusevski deserves more credit for how young he is and how good he's adapted, man. I think if he was English, he would be the talk of the town and everyone, all the papers we talking about him. I think he's definitely gone under the radar in terms of mainstream. I think Tottenham fans recognise it, but I think in terms of mainstream, credit, I think he's definitely still going under the radar. How good he's been.
If we had an Arsenal fan sitting here right now, and I said to them, Kulusevski's better than Saka, they'll laugh me out the room.
They'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah,
but
they'll
you
look
shouldn't.
at me like I'm absolutely crazy.
But why wouldn't he be right now? There's no he's got more assists than Saka now this season after yesterday. There's a dance after the game between Emerson Højbjerg and Son, and brilliant stuff. Love it.
Is the team bonding now kind of on a par of what we had it at the prime Pochettino?
It's hard to say it's on a par, but it looks like it, doesn't it? It definitely looks like everyone's together. There definitely doesn't seem to be fractures like they were. You know, even cast your mind back to a year ago when we played Zagreb. Laurie's calling out the whole group and everything. It's very different, even against
a year ago, 6 months ago.
You know,
3
under
months
Nuno,
ago.
it seemed very fractured. But
Even Lloris this season has come out and said, you know, players not pulling their weight and all this kind of stuff.
But now, everyone seems to be on the same page.
You can't tell me one player in this squad right now that's not pulling their weight.
Everyone is. Everyone's trying doing their best they can, and I think that's all down to Conte. There's Son with a few words. We're not going to listen to everything he has to say, but most goal involvements since February 19th, which is Kulusevski first start. Look at that. They're the top three in the Premier League total. The top three is Kane, Son and Kulusevski, and then it's Havertz, Tony, Salah, Mount, and then Doherty following up there right at the bottom as well with 5. So Tottenham really are racking up the goals.
Unbelievable.
Tottenham fans yesterday. Man United, 1-0, great. Arsenal losing 2-1, and then Spurs, nothing but smiles.
It was literally the perfect day yesterday.
It was.
I was on Friday night. I was like, I cannot wait for tomorrow. For breakfast, we've got Everton to beat Man United. For lunch, we've got Brighton to beat Arsenal. And for dinner, to top it all off, we're going to have Tottenham to give Aston Villa a battering. And that's exactly how it panned out. It was the most perfect day.
It was. Couldn't have been more perfect, could it? An Arsenal fan, Welby, says, I give up. Top 4 is gone. My heart is shattered. Falling out of love with football again. Thank you. All the Arsenal fans are crumbling. Absolutely brilliant. That's Thomas on. There's Iggy on on the fan show yesterday.
Brilliant call yesterday,
Lovely
Iggy. I
stuff.
loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Absolutely.
And he's right. Stell has been rattling a lot of Arsenal feathers since last night.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's going to have to wear an Arsenal shirt soon, isn't he?
I know. I
things to
messaged
go.
him that last night, and he was like, "Is it the end of the season yet?"
No, he's still clinging on.
What are you talking about?
Fair enough. Al Conte Football says, what a finish. Take a bow, Kulusevski. That was a tweet from Tottenham. And then Billy T said, he's not finished, he's Swedish. And then Tottenham said, he's not finished, he's only 21.
I was cracking up at that. The admin's got some banter.
Talk Sport call from a while ago. Great stuff. Yeah, brilliant. Slav, big up to Slav. He says, Højbjerg stepped up last few weeks, big time.
Yeah.
Can't disagree with that.
Absolutely.
Brian Daigle on the Twitter. He's added expressions. Oh, what's that for?
Yeah, he's singing that Expressions Heung-min Son
What's
song.
going on here? Why is this tweet stuck there? I don't know what's happened here. It's weird. Sorry, I don't know.
What's going on over there?
I don't know. It's gone funny. It's weird. Can I click on it? Can't do it. I don't know. What if I click on something? Nope. All right. My it's all
Never
bugged
seen
out.
that before,
That's
ever.
bugged out. All right. Weird. But anyway. Since Conte's arrival, yeah, we've mentioned that the XG, our chance creation is just better. John Muller says Tottenham have entered January a little behind Arsenal in the top 4 race. One team signed 2 good players, the other gave 1 away. You think that's just the difference? Simple as that?
I don't think it's as simple as that. I think that it's that we've got players like Kane and Son as well, where they don't have a striker pretty much. And also we've got a world-class manager and they've got a rookie as a manager. So I think there's many differences between the 2 clubs right now, but I think that is definitely one of them that is mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with that. Spurs Web says, how Tyrone Mings gets into the England squad ahead of Eric Dyer is a travesty.
And I was saying this...
He was awful yesterday, Mings, I thought.
He was. And I was saying this when the squads got announced for the last international break. I was like, how the hell is Mings still getting called up and Dyer doesn't get a mention?
He got sat down for dinner for that goal for Kulusevski. Unbelievable, I thought. He didn't know what to do. Look at that from Son from Squawk yesterday. 100% shot accuracy, 100% conversion rate, 100% take-on success, 100% tackle success, 3 goals, 3 shots, 3 goals. The perfect display.
Oh, and the finishes were just to die for, man.
They were. Could watch
They
those
were
finishes
to
all
die
day
for.
long.
I mean,
Brilliant.
they were pinpoint, absolutely spot on. Best finishing I've seen for ages.
That's good stuff. The referee reacting to Emerson and Son with their celebration.
He's like, what the hell are you doing?
He's like, what? He's like, you're grown men, mate. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, Son's always going to be a child at heart, isn't he?
It looks like he's about to give the yellow card or something.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? What are you lads doing? Not sure about that, mate. Frank Major with interesting, he says, Daniel Levy deserves massive credit for getting Conte, taking a huge financial hit on the outgoing players in January and backing Conte with 2 new signings. I've been very vocal in my criticism of him, but we can't not credit him when he does things right.
Yeah, and I think that we had reservations about the transfer window, didn't we? We didn't bring enough in. We thought we left too many holes in the squad in terms of the wing backs. But also, when Antonio Conte came in, we also said that what Antonio Conte does, he makes average players look a lot better than they are. And that's exactly what he's doing. So maybe we were a bit too harsh on the transfer window because we didn't take into account Conte maybe improving the players that we already had.
We also didn't take into account that the fact, we didn't get everything we wanted, but at least we got 2 players in the Arsenal and Man United didn't sign anyone, did they?
The fact of the matter is, after the transfer window, straight after that, we looked out on our legs a bit.
Yeah.
Because we sold 4 players, we got rid of 4 players, and we only brought 2 in, and we looked very weak in the middle of the park. And still now, if Højbjerg or Bentancur get injured, it can be very risky going into the end of the season.
I agree. So, I agree with that. So we are a bit short, but as I was saying...
But right now it's working. Right now it looks great. But a few injuries and we're going to start looking at that January transfer window again.
Yeah, but when you're comparing us to our rivals, we added and they didn't.
Yeah.
So that maybe we didn't, didn't take that into account enough. Andrew Gow says, non-penalty goals from the last 2 seasons. Son 33 and 65, Salah 31 in 65.
Wow.
Son is outscoring Salah right now.
That's mental. Considering
how well Salah started his season as well.
That's mental. Well, Salah's been at the top of his game for the last 3-4 years for Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much ever since he came, to be honest. Zen tweeted us with a beer, and I think his son's looking like he wants a bit of that beer, doesn't he? He tried to grab it. I hope he kept it away from him. That was, I think, a well-timed shot. All the Spurs boys on the coach with the match ball. Very good stuff. There's Galini and Rodon getting involved. They're looking happy. So that's
Galini
good for them.
and Rodon are just like mascots at the moment.
At the moment, yeah, they're not really getting involved too much in the playing time. But look, we're playing so well. How can they? Marcelo, big up Marcelo, he says, regardless of where we get top 4, Conte has shown that he is the man to back and fully get on board with. He is out of this world good.
Absolutely.
Completely agree. Seb Stafford Blur says, was that a hopeful punt for Tottenham's first? Think it would look more like a well-designed percentage ball with Son challenging. He's just talking about the plans to go direct more in the second half. Rob Daly says, Burnley won Spurs 0 was 45 days ago. That's mad. Less than 2 months ago, that game. And how much has changed.
Yeah. But that's when it all started. The game before that was City, wasn't it?
Yeah. City,
that was like the birth of our good form. I mean, at the end of the day, right, I know Burnley went on shocking form after that, but anyone can go to Burnley and have a result like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, right now, Norwich beating Burnley 2-0.
Wow. As I say that. But you know what I mean. Yeah, it's a hard place to go.
As I said, they've taken points off West Ham. They've taken points off Arsenal. They've taken points off Man United. So we're not the only team they've taken points off. But yeah. George Bannister says, what's difficult to comprehend for us Spurs fans is the complete turnaround from being embarrassingly awful to actually looking world-class at times in the same season. We'll always talk ourselves down, but we've been superb to watch. Credit to the lads and Antonio. Final push.
Absolutely.
And how we've got ourselves in this position, is difficult for us to get our head around, but look, we've done it. And that's the main thing. The
definition of Jekyll and Hyde, literally, this season for Spurs.
Yeah, unbelievable. Charlie Eccleshare says, how you mocked 6 wins out of 7 for Tottenham in the Premier League since this tweet. And yes, I'm a very small person. This won't be the last time. He said, after we lost to Burnley, I still think Tottenham will get top 4. He says, I'm massively disappointed with Burnley have taken points of all these other teams. So look, he stuck to his guns and seems to be paying off right now.
You're a bigger man than me, Charlie, because after that game against Burnley, we were all just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
After that outburst from Conte, is Conte going? Is he staying? How the hell are we going to get top? We're nowhere near top 4. You know what I mean? All this kind of stuff. And even like after a few wins after that, I was like, oh, we're not going to keep it up. We're going to lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. Proof's in the pudding at the moment.
Definitely. Dan Kilpatrick as well says Spurs put themselves firmly in the driving seat for fourth. They rode their luck with the first half as against Newcastle, but were brilliant after the break. They moved 3 points clear last half, all the momentum going into the top 4 race.
Yep.
BR Football says Spurs solidify their spot in the top 4, while Arsenal and Man United both lose. Spurs fans right now. Great picture. Love it. And then there's a bunch of salty gooners, which I've liked, which is good.
Let's go through a few salty gooners.
Gunner Blog says advantage Spurs in the... I hadn't liked it by accident.
Yeah,
and it's gone.
Advantage Spurs in the top 4, undoubtedly. I don't wish to be alarmist, but think it's essential that Arteta immediately finds a way to stabilise this team and make it work without absentees. A top 6 place is utterly essential, and a bad run now puts that in jeopardy.
Are they? They're not. Are they in danger of dropping out the top 6 right now? The way things are going?
Of course they are. They're only 3 points above West Ham and Man United.
If any of them have a good run of form, you never know.
The lucky thing that they got about them, though, is Man United seem to have fallen off a cliff and got very hard fixtures, and West Ham are more concentrated on this Europa League campaign.
Yeah, they're losing at home to Brighton.
Yeah.
Difficult. Squawk says Brighton's previous 7 games before playing at the Emirates: lose, draw, scored 1, conceded 13, 1 clean sheet. Full-time result: Arsenal 1, Brighton 2.
Arteta, hold my beer.
Brilliant stuff. Sam Dean says Graham Potter on Arsenal is probably the curse of the Manager of the Month award. I'll make sure I'll never get one of them. And we've said that, didn't we? Bloody Manager of the Month award. And it really has turned out to be a curse.
Nuno got it, lost 3-0 to Palace and then went on a losing run. Arteta got it, lost 3-0 to Palace and going on a losing run.
Exactly. Unbelievable. Yeah, it really is turning out to be a curse. Jonathan Ville says, what I liked most was how Conte put more on at the end to remind us how it used to be. Brilliant stuff. This guy, Wenger_3 says, Conte took half a season and 1 window to take 8th place Spurs to potentially 4th. Arteta has taken Arsenal from 5th to 8th to 8th to maybe 5th or 6th, despite multiple windows, and 250 million spent. Trust the process, though.
Absolutely. It's actually mad to think about how much money Arsenal have actually spent under Arteta.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money, and they're bigger spenders in the summer, but hasn't quite worked out as well. No, hard to say it hasn't worked out, but right now it's just falling apart.
Yeah, but if they finish 6th or 7th for this year, can you really say it's worked out? How many 8th place finish and 7th place
Probably
finish?
not, because when Arteta took over, if you would have told them it'll take you 3 years to even get top 4, no one was going to accept that, are they?
Emre was on the brink of a top 4 finish.
He was. He got to a final as well, a UEFA Cup final, so Europa League final. So, he actually probably didn't do too much of a bad job when you think about it. Yeah. Hugo Lloris with an outstanding save. Yeah, that was a save from Ramsey. Brilliant one-handed save. Look, the reactions on that to tip that over the bar. Very, very impressive from Hugo Lloris. And that is that. I think, has anyone tagged us in anything?
It's showing you the actual Troy Parrott goal at the top there.
Yeah, here we are. So here's a better view of Parrott's goal. Swung to the back post. Oh, what a volley! That's
Harry Kane-esque, isn't it?
What a volley! The technique
is that not
on
Harry
that.
Kane-esque?
The technique on that man to smash that home. That is brilliant.
He is playing with some confidence at the moment, isn't he?
He is. That's a great finish. But that is it for now, I think.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining the Twitter Reacts. That is going to be all from us today. We'll be coming back very soon with player ratings and the 5 takeaways. The few super chats just to get through before we go. Brandon Troller, big up Brandon, says that would you experiment with Stevie B at right wing back? Emerson is just so beyond dreadful going forward. I wouldn't be against it, to be honest. What would you say?
I don't think it was bad yesterday, to be honest. I didn't
like Emerson yesterday.
I think in the second half he improved. So I think he's going to stick with him. And
I think he will stick with him. But I'm saying, if you were manager, would you look at maybe Stevie B filling in there?
I wouldn't mind. I think maybe on the left-hand side, because I think he's more comfortable there. I don't think he's as comfortable on the right.
But on the left-hand side, we got a Reguilon and a Sessegnon on there.
I know. So I wouldn't. No, I'd keep Emerson, to be honest. I know as much as People don't rate him, and I don't think he's been even that good over the last 2 games. But I think like yesterday, he definitely started to get better as the game wore on, and I think he's been all right over the last 2 games. So I think you want to keep giving him confidence. So I'll stick with him for now.
Carl Patrick Vineyard says, on this day in 2016, we beat Manchester United 3-0 at White Hart Lane.
Wow.
Which one was that? Was that when Ericsson scored in the first minute? That was at Wembley, wasn't it?
No, that was when Delhi. It was a 3.
Oh, Lamella.
Yeah, Lamella. Yeah. That was 3 in 3 in 6 minutes or something.
Spurs in full cry here.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rachel Marshall says, are we getting top 4 for definite? Well, you can't say for definite just
Definitely
yet,
not for definite.
but it's looking good at the moment. It's definitely looking good. And there's another one from Dark Sundry 21 saying, Man, you are bottling it since they beat Nuno and failed to get Conte, laughing my arse off. Yeah. I love how things change really quickly. Ragnick can't control Manchester United. And the last one here is from Jay, and he says, Sim, is Salah still better than Sonny?
Definitely not, mate. Come on. So at least Sonny has 2 feet, unlike Salah. That's all I got to say on that. But no, look, Salah's obviously a brilliant player. I think he's going through a tough time through the contract negotiations, maybe getting to him, and he's kind of gone off the boil. But Son, right now, I mean, everyone's saying Kane's the best player in the Premier League right now. Son is putting a very good case forward for him.
Yeah.
That's for sure, the way he's playing the goal. I think it's 8 goals in his last 8 games now in total. But I mean, he's looking unstoppable. Yeah,
he's on fire at the moment. A few final scores to talk to you about in the Premier League. It's Brentford 2, West Ham 0.
So that's a great result.
Mbeumo and Ivan Toney scoring the goals.
Oh, but they're not bothered about that, right?
No,
they don't care about Premier League, apparently.
No, they don't. Leicester 2, Crystal Palace 1. Lookman and Dewsbury Hall and Zaha missing a penalty, and it looks like he might have got the rebound.
What did you have in that game? I can't remember. I think I had 2-2. Shame.
And Norwich 2, Burnley 0, which is great news for Everton fans.
Very good news, and that's awful for Burnley. And you know what? All of a sudden, that bottom 3 now, Burnley are 4 points behind Everton now, with Watford being 6 points behind and Norwich being 7. So,
and that's only a few days after Burnley beat Everton.
Yeah, so that is very
damaging. Imperative for Burnley to win today.
Yeah, if they're losing games like that, man, are they really going to stay up? I don't know. That's difficult.
And the next game they go away to West Ham, and then at home to Southampton, and at home to Wolves. Hard games.
Very
hard
tough games
coming up.
So
they need an Arsenal game, don't they?
Yeah, Leeds look like if they're going to do enough to stay up. So I don't know. I think if Everton will just win their home games, they might be all right.
All right. That is it from us today. Like I said, we'll be back very soon for player ratings and the 5 takeaways. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Sorry we didn't take callers this morning, but we will be taking callers tomorrow morning. So join us for our live stream tomorrow morning. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.